Hi, everybody. It's Crimson. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, Michaels, for having DecoArt with us. And we're in the studio today, and I'm going to show you some water marbling. We're very excited to show you this product. If you're not familiar with it, you can see behind me, it gives you great results with bright colors. There's 14 different colors. And we're going to talk about the retail kit they have in Michaels. And I have some of them set up here. I'll show you. I'll flip this around. So this is the kit we're going to be talking about, and it's got some really good primary colors in there for you. They also have the surface prep and the magic medium, which makes the size, and I'll go over that in a little bit. And here's some of the beautiful colors that we have in sets at Michaels, and they're also sold in the open stock, so you can get one jar of paint if you want, if you need to just fill up on one color. And then also on shopdecoart.com. We also have like other tools and bigger trays if you're interested in getting those. But yeah, we wanted to talk about some of the projects you can do. We've done shoes, this is great for fabrics when you use the surface prep, and it works beautifully on wood and the papers. You can make all kinds of cool projects. Like I said, I've started a wall here just because you get so many different looks and techniques, and we have videos that walk you through some of those if you're very interested on our website as well, and also setup videos and just like educational videos, so you can check those out if you want. So what we're going to be making today is some back to school things, like maybe some manila folders. This works great on paper, and we have some cute little notebooks that we're going to marble. And I have surface prepped a canvas bag, like a good pencil bag. That's our inspiration piece that one of our artists made here. And then we also have some cute little wood pencils, and this is great. These work so good on wood, like I said. So that's a fun project where your kiddos can customize some fun things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just maybe open this kit and just walk you through what's in there, and then we'll get started. So I'm going to stick y'all up here. Sorry. Not very good at this. There we go. If you have any questions, just be sure and let us know, and we'll get those answered for you as we're going. Oh, Abby's directing me. Is that better? Awesome. And if you all, like I said, if you have any questions as I'm going, or you need to see or hear something again, just in the comments, and Abby will get that answer for you. So these kits come like this, and if you've already bought it, you've already done your unboxing. But for those of you that haven't, you get to see what's in there. So like I said, you get all these colors, very nice colors in these primaries. So there's a white, a red, a yellow, a aquamarine, and tropical blue. And then you also get a jar of the surface prep. And this will do a lot of projects because you only use, I think, 1 teaspoon per 2 cups of water. And you get this nice pamphlet that walks you through a lot of things. And I'm going to be giving you some more tips, but there's some good tips in that pamphlet for you. And then we have our special water marbling paint that really grabs those pigments, and it makes very vibrant prints and crisp, clean lines. And you get these little wooden marbling sticks, which are great. And I'm going to be using those today for our project, so you can see. And what all this is in is our water marbling tray. And this, as you saw, works perfectly with our paper because it fits nicely in there. And for the other projects that we're going to be doing. So I'm going to just go ahead and jump right into that. So, let me kind of show you my setup. So I have a tray for the water marbling, but I also have, you want to have like a bigger tray. See this? I'm just going to take it off and show you. I have a bigger tray set up here for rinsing your prints. Now, today we're not probably going to be doing those with the projects because you don't have to rinse those. But if you're doing the papers, you do want to have a tray that's a little bigger than your paper, so you can just rinse those in face down. And that just gets off the extra size. You don't have to do that. It just, for a tip, it just helps it dry faster and flatter. So that's a little tip for that. So what I did was mix up my size in a larger container just because I like to mix up more than just I'm going to be using in the tray. That way, if it has a lid, it saves for like five to 7 days. So that's really great. Especially if you're going to be doing a lot of projects. I'm just going to dip it out in the tray. So the size, let me show you. You might not know. The size is the magic medium, which thickens the water up, which helps the pigment and the paint float on top. So you're able to take that print off of the surface. So you can keep reusing this, and I'll show you that as you go until it's literally empty. So you can do a lot of projects with just one tray of size. So there we go with that. The first one I'll probably do is the notebook. We're still looking good. Okay. So I'm going to use I think it's the Pastel pack, and it comes with these beautiful colors. And that's what we use for a lot of these projects that we're going to be doing today. And there's a lavender, a light blue, a pink, and a white. And with 4 colors, you can get a lot of different looks. What I like to do is, we also have the paper, the cleaning paper. It's like a newsprint based paper, but it's really good for cleaning off your surface. And you want to do that in the beginning before you start, especially if your size has been sitting, because if dust floats on there, it might mess up your print a little bit. I just like to run that over the surface of the size to get off any little flyaway debris or anything that's floating around in the air. So we'll just go ahead and get started. Let's see. So what I like to do, now like I said, there's a bunch of different techniques, and this is like historically based in Japanese and Turkish traditions. And so there's technical ways of doing it, but I found that if you load up your surface with a base color first, you're able to get the design quicker, and it's not going to move around as much when you're trying to make that design. So I'm just going to start with lavender, do a couple of stripes on the top. Now you can do drops like this, and those are called stones. And then you're going to get little bubbles on the top, and you can just pop those with your finger or use your marbling stick. And then you might, even though I cleaned my surface, there are some little things floating, and I can just tap it and get those off too, because those will show up on your whatever surface you're going to be putting your print on. I just kind of do that as I go along. So this first little swirly pattern we did for our little notebook example, just kind of layering the colors, allowing that. Now, what's another tip? I like to have a handy dandy little paper clip. So when your paint nozzles sometimes get clogged, especially if you're leaving them open with the lid off, you just stick that in there, and then it's just ready to go. You're going to get that little bubble at the top, and you can just have a paper towel handy or tap it with your finger. Or again, if it's on the surface, you can just pop it. So when you first drop on the paint, it looks like nothing's there, but it's just because it's just a thin layer. You can build that color up each time you drop the paint into the same spot. So that pink will be a little bit more vibrant now that we added that extra layer. So I'm just going to keep, let's see, I won't do blue for this one. Now, usually when you use white, especially on a darker surface like this, is like a cardboard color, what's going to happen is it might not show up bright white. It's just going to really show that underneath surface. Same way if you're doing a print on the paper, if you wanted to leave a white space, that's what I would use. I would use white, and then you would have that area. Now I like to do that. I'll show you an example. When I did a print, I did it on purpose because I left white in the areas. That way I could go back in and paint the gold, if you can see that. That just gives me a spot to really play with that metallic. So that's just an idea if you guys want to play with that. So I'm going to add some white to our pattern. And really you can take a print anytime, just whenever you start to like the pattern. I'm going to stop and see how some of the paint falls through to the bottom. Now that might be because I'm being a little too aggressive with dropping the paint on, or I might have done it too high, or if I'm adding too much paint. That will not affect your print at all. It's just some of the fall through. And you get less and less of that when you get more practice of doing it, but it won't mess up your print. So I'm just going to kind of take my marbling stick now that I've got some paint on that surface and just kind of swirl it around until I get like a marbled look. So the good thing about doing small things, like say with the pencil, you wanted them to match, you could do it in the same pattern. So I'll do one section up here, my pencil, just dip it in. You can see it just gives that cool marbled look. And you want to have it set up on your space that you have set up. You want to have an area where you can lay out paper towels, where you can set all your things that you've marbled so it can dry. Like on a non-stick surface, if it's a 3D object like that pencil, I use like freezer paper, that way it won't stick. But with these little notebooks, now I like wire ring notebooks because you can take off the cover. But if you just had it, you could mask off the inside so the paint wouldn't get on the inside. So I'm just gonna take it like this. And when you have a rigid surface like this, you want to go in at an angle so you don't get any trapped air bubbles. So I'm just going to kind of dip it like this. And we have our nice marbled surface that we can let dry, and then we can put it back on our notebook. So like I said, on a darker surface, you're going to get a more subtle look. That is also true for terracotta. It works great on just plain terracotta pots, but for a 3D object, you want your bath to be deeper so it doesn't hit the bottom when you're dipping it in. You just want to be mindful of that. You want to try that out.
Do our paints dry matte or glossy?
They're matte. Yeah, they're pretty matte. It depends on the surface, but for the most part, like when it's on the papers, yeah, it's matte. So you see there's still paint on the surface, and what's good to have your papers as well as your projects that you're doing is I wouldn't want to waste that paper, because like if you wanted to have papers, marbled papers to do like decoupaging or other paper projects, it's just good to have those handy. And you can see how beautiful they look after you've already dipped your other projects in. So I like to drain that sides off from the corner. And you can see how you're starting to get this kind of cool crackled look. The longer you leave the paint on the surface, it'll start to dry, but you have quite a bit of time before that starts happening, but I think it's really cool if you want to do it on purpose. So then, like I said, if you can see let's see if I can move this over. The rinse bath, I just flip it over, face down. And this is just getting off that extra size. And it doesn't take away the print at all. The colors stay vibrant, very beautiful. I just let that water drain off, and then I like to just lay it on a paper towel.
Can you show everyone your drying surface so that we can see how you set that up?
Oh, okay. Well, for these, let me take this off and show you. Normally, if I'm doing a lot of prints, what I'll do is I'll lay out paper towels on a surface. And so I can just lay those on there as soon as I pull them out of the rinse bath. But for 3D projects, I just have, like I said, freezer paper down. That way it won't stick to the surface while it's drying. Yeah, and that's basically it. I just put freezer paper on it on a table. So that's worked great for me. There's happy.
And can you do this with different paper?
You can, like I said, I just like that, like this, obviously. It's just like a little paper mache notebook. I'll show you on our cleaning paper. This is just like a regular, is it upside down? Or is it good? Okay. So when you're cleaning off this, oh, okay. Take a ride. Sorry, guys. The better. Okay. A lot of moving around today. But like, as you want to clean that surface off, if you're done taking prints before your next project, and what I like to do, you just lay that thin paper on there. You don't want to use a real absorbent paper to clean because it's going to soak up all your size, and you don't want to do that. You just want to clean the surface. And you can see how it stays on this paper even, and that's not our water marbling paper. It just, the water marbling paper was just like specifically designed to really grasp that pigment and make those prints really bright and vibrant.
Can you use water marbling or watercolor paper?
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like I said, now I'm going to be doing the folders in a bit, the manila folders. Now, we had done some without the surface prep, and then I also added some surface prep to see how that would do. So we can try both of those to see how that does as well. So next, I'm going to show you this canvas bag, which I had surface prepped beforehand and allowed it to dry. Now, what we recommend is if you're doing fabric, you want to wash it without fabric softener and then dry it. And then if you want to iron it, get out any of those wrinkles, depending on what kind of fabric it is, you want to iron it. And then you want to surface prep it. And so the surface prep is real easy. You just like mix it in a tote. Again, that's what I do. And it tells you the directions on the bottle. Show you. It's a surface prep. You just want to make enough, like if you're doing a bunch of fabric where it's going to be moving around freely, you don't want it packed into the surface prep, and it only takes like 20 minutes, and then you have to let it dry completely before you water marble it. So I've done that with these bags already. And for this bag, I'm just going to mask off these areas that I don't want water marbled. Now this is true for the shoes that I've done. Mask off any areas that you don't want the water marbling paint to adhere to. And I like, for shoes, it's a good idea to stuff them with something just so it's not full of size when you dip it. Oh, and inside of this, to make it stiff, I just cut a piece of cardboard. I zipped it up. I was going to show you guys that, but it's in there, I promise. But yeah, I just made it stiffer, so when I dip it, it's not moving around a bunch. So the way I did this, I could do one side, one color way, and I could do it another color way the other side.
There we go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So for the bag, I think I'll just do like a pink marbled look, like our example I'll show you. This wasn't a white bag, it was just like the natural canvas look, but it'll just be even more vibrant on the white. But I think it looks cool on the natural canvas. I think this one was done with the pink and the white just to give that look. And it was masked off. And then this is just done with like a Sharpie. You could use fabric paint or whatever you want, really. I'll probably just write a name with a Sharpie. So again, you just want to lay down a base color. I like to do that with just like 1 or 2 lines of a color. So if you did, can you see on the edges here? So it just looks like I didn't get my surface cleaned off enough, but the bag is, let's see, you can fix that. I'll show you a fast way to fix that. Take a piece of the cleaning paper, and where it's not touching the side, you can just kind of pull it out. And then it just pulls out your paint all the way to the edge. That way you won't get that by accident on your project. There we go. So I'll just add some pink like that. And then I'll just drop some stones. Now I've talked about techniques a little bit. There's like the gelgit from the Turkish tradition and the nonpareil. And those are really just doing like a zigzag motion. And I can show some of those on the folders I'm going to do. So I'm just going to, but mostly all the patterns really start with the stones that you drop in like this. So you're just dropping them in. You can drop them, I don't know, like sporadically, or you can be more precise and make them evenly spaced. Just play around with it. I mean, there's no right or wrong. It's just really about the look that you like.
Can you use any other paper to clean the surface other than our cleaning paper?
Like I said, you don't want to use something that's going to absorb your size because that's just wasting it. So you really want, what this paper is good for, it's like a newsprint based paper. It's really thin. It's not absorbent. So that's the kind of idea you want to go for. Like I said, I like to take as many prints as I can just because I like to have those extra papers to make projects with. That way you're not wasting paint. But yeah, other papers can be used to clean it. You just don't want it to be an absorbent paint paper. I'm just dropping some more paint on the surface. See, you get those little bubbles when you flip them over just because that's what happens. But I just like to tap them to the side of the tray or with my finger or a paper towel. So let's see, I'm going to build this up. Now, the more paint you build up, the more vibrant your print will be. So if you want a more pastel look, you could do that. Just do a little less paint. Or you can also get like empty bottles, and these colors are mixable. So you can customize colors. You can make all different kinds of color palettes of your own if you have a preference. And those are really fun to do as well. So when you get a pattern you like, you can also blow on the surface. That kind of moves it organically around. That might be fun for kids to try as well. You can use a fan. Or again, you can use your stick to make some swirlies in some of the areas. And when you get it the way you like and you're ready to dip your surface in, again, since this is kind of rigid, you want to go in at a little bit of an angle for your dip. I think I probably will do one side one way and one side another way, just because it sounds fun. So hopefully it works. I just dip that in, leave it for a second. Fingers crossed. Oh, beautiful. And you're gonna let that size drip off, the extra size. And since we surface prep this, once we're done dipping it, we can rinse it out. And that color will stay. So I'm going to let that drip for a second, and I'm going to dip that other side because And you want, before you dip anything, you want to make sure it's completely dry. If it's wet, it will not take the print. So there's a tip that you want to pay attention to. But like I said, you still have paint on the surface. You can go ahead and clean it, or you can take a print if you really like what you see and keep it for a project later. And when you're dropping that paper in, you want to let the center drop first and then let the edges fall. And that way you're not getting any trapped bubbles. I mean, you couldn't tell on this because it has white areas, but if you have a trapped bubble, it's just gonna let the white paper show through. I'm just gonna rinse that off. And the more prints you take, the lighter the paint will be, so you'll get more pastel look in the subsequent prints. Sorry, you can't see me. I'm like this over here. So now again, I'm just going to clean that surface off. I'm wondering if anybody is marbling along with me. So I'd love to know how it's going. Please comment if you're able to water marble and comment at the same time. And then you just clean the surface off until your paper comes clean, and that's enough. There's no set number of times or anything. And like I said before, you can see those drops of paint down there, but that's not gonna mess up your prints that you're doing.
What do you mean when you go to rinse off your substrate that you're using?
With the canvas bag?
Yes.
Oh, like if you wanted
the papers.
The papers, okay. Maybe I have a water bath set up over here. Can you see that? In a tray, in one of the larger trays.
And that's just plain water?
Yes, just plain water. And when you're rinsing off your print, you want to do it face down, and you just kind of agitate it. And I'll show the next one I do. I'll show it again. That way you can see it. But yeah, that's just rinsing off that extra size. It just helps the paper dry faster.
And the size is just the bath of water.
Yeah, the magic medium. Yeah. And that's just thickening up that water so the pigments and the water marbling paint floats on top. That's what makes it float. Except the water is thicker with that magic medium.
Now, if you wanted to resin over paper that you have marbled, do you need to seal the paper with anything else before you put resin over it?
No, like I've varnished and done resin, not resin, but varnished over the paper, and it doesn't pick up off the paper. Now, if you're doing it on a surface like I marbled on like a what was it? Like a silicone phone case or something. And so I did pour it like a varnish over that after I marbled it, but it did want to lift up a little bit just because it was a very non-porous surface, and I hadn't really surface prepped it good. So I'm going to move. I hope that answers your question. I'm going to move over to a bigger tray because those folders don't quite fit. They fit in the smaller one, but I just can't really put my fingers in it. So I'm just going to switch. If I can do this without making a mess. So I'm just going to pour this in here. That worked pretty good. Oh, I lost track. I was going to water marble the other side of that bag. I'll do that first. But you see how after pouring that, I don't know if you can see, there's a bunch of bubbles on the surface. So I'll just take a piece of the whatever cleaning paper I'm using. I'll just kind of drag that along to try to pop those. They go to the edges at the very least. You don't need those. So one of the other traditions, and we have some videos on this on DecoArt.com about the traditions of Suminagashi, and Typically they're done with black and white inks on the surface, but you know, it works beautifully. Like I showed these in the beginning. I don't know if you saw these. I did those with like that technique, just the black and white paints on a wood surface. I'm gonna do it with purple and white, and I'm gonna do the other side of that bag. So the cement and gouache technique is just you're alternating the colors inside the circles. You can do it with the bottles. You can do it with our sumi brushes. You can do it with the marbling sticks. All of them work beautifully. And this is just a little extra technique that I'll show. And then if we have time at the end, I'll show some different things if you want to see it on our papers. But like I said, if you keep building up this paint, it's just going to be more vibrant the more you build up. Now, there is a point where you just get too much paint on the surface and it might just run off. Like your surface can only absorb so much paint. So if you have a whole lot of paint on the surface, some of that might rinse off, but the pigment and the brightness of the print will still stick in that paper and any surface you've surface prepped. You can see I'm just doing this concentric circles. And I'll show you, you can have like a little tray or something, you can pour out some paints like this. I don't know if you can see that on the side. Oh, you can, good. You just take 2 water marbling sticks, get some paint on the ends, and you can just touch them to the surface. The longer you hold it, the more paint absorbs. And these are just going to give you smaller circles. So I just think this is a really fun look, especially for like fabrics or the prints. So I'm going to take my other side of my bag. Oh, it got soaked there a little bit, so I might not take on that area that it's wet, but you could let this dry and then do it, and that way you wouldn't have that risk of having that wet spot before you dip it. So I'll show you anyway. So that gives a cool look on the other side. And so once that just dry, you can just pull that masking tape off and finish off with your name or any other words if you wanted to do that. And obviously any patterns can be used on these pencil bags, which is super cute. You can use whatever colors or whatever patterns. So that's fun. I'm going to go ahead and clean this off, then I'll show you some of these fun folders, manila folders that we're doing. You just pull that to clean it. You can see that's just pulling off that extra paint. When I pull it on the edge like that, I don't know if you can see, but it kind of gets stuck to the side of your tray. I do like to just go ahead and wipe that because that paint does tend to like float back on the surface. So I'll just wipe that edge with a paper towel. How are you doing, Abby?
I'm good.
How's everybody else doing? Is anybody doing along with us?
Anybody else water marbling with us today?
No. Well, hopefully you get excited and try it out because it is super fun. I'm going to tell you right now, it's really addictive. There's just so many fun things you could do. Possibilities are endless.
I love that every print that you pull is unique.
Yes.
You know, you're never going to get exactly the same.
Right.
It's just so fun.
Yes, definitely. Even if you use the same colors, the same technique, it's still going to have its own beauty and its own look. So,
and I love that all of our paints are intermixable.
Yes.
So you can create new colors. You can create color palettes that go together.
Yes. And did you know that our paint is made in Stanford, Kentucky?
Yep, right here.
Right here in Stanford, Kentucky. Well, we're in Lexington, but our people that make all that paint are working hard in Stanford. So we have these manila folders I'm going to do. Oh,
What other fabric would you recommend other than just the canvas?
well, it works great on natural fabrics. So silks work beautifully. Canvas,
Cotton.
yes, cotton. What's really exciting is doing these water marbling on like cotton squares and like making quilts. Just any ideas you can think of like that. It's just really fun. So,
and we do recommend that you treat those with our
surface prep
prior to water marbling.
Yeah, and that will just help it hold up and washing. So we have these a couple of different designs I'm just going to do on these manila folders. I'm going to do one without the surface prep and one with and see if it makes a difference, because this is a different paper. So we'll see how it goes. Let's try that out. So the first pattern is probably more like the stones, which again, is one of my favorite patterns. You can just build up your colors, start out with that base color. You can do it with the stones or you can do it with the line down the center. I'm just going to go ahead and use all the colors in the pastel pack. We have 14 beautiful colors, and like Abby said, are intermixable, so you can make your own custom colors. There's so many vibrant colors that work so well together. You can really build up patterns and techniques, and you can check those some ideas and projects and techniques and other educational videos on our YouTube and on our website if you're curious to learn more. I'm just building up this pattern with the stones, which is just dropping the paint. You can build up and you can do it like I'm doing, or you can build up inside the circles like I did with the Sumonagashi. Just build up concentric circles. Like I said, there's no right or wrong. It's just fun to play with it. And it's just really sort of, I don't know, kind of meditative, because you're looking at the paint and the water and it's, flowing around. It's kind of relaxing. So whenever you feel like you have a pattern that you love, you can just stop. Or again, like you can use your water marbling sticks to make smaller stones. If you have areas where you just want a little bit of color to break up a larger area, you can move that around in there. So I'm going to try the folder without the surface prep and we'll see how it goes. So again, I'm going to fold it up with the edges, so let that center touch down first. Oh, here we go. You let those edges drop down. And then you just pull it up. Wow. I think it turned out pretty good, guys. You see this line that's like a lighter area, which is pretty cool. I think it just gives like some movement, but that's just like called a hesitation mark. So that's just kind of where I held that one edge up longer than the other one. It just gives it a cool look, I think. Just tell everybody you did it on purpose. And I just drain off the extra size. Now, with the papers that are not our water marbling papers and that have not been surface prepped, I would not rinse this. I would just let it dry. And then if it's kind of all kind of worked up, you can iron it with the paint side down. You can iron the back, which works nicely. That works on the papers as well. I do that to all the prints that I do. You don't have to, but it just helps it be flatter projects. Well, I think some really cool things happened here. So I'm going to take a print with the paper on that leftover paint. And I'm going to leave those bubbles and see if I can show you what happens when you have bubbles. See if it shows. So see, you can do it on purpose and you have those cool circles. And that's what happens when you have a bubble. I also have white in there too. So it'd be more noticeable if you didn't have white in there as well. You just have like one circle that's white, but you know, happy accidents. You could put metallic in it or glitter or whatever you want. I'm going to show you over here. I do this face down and just rinse that size off. Just agitate it. I like to do it in a bigger tray, larger than the paper. That way you can just agitate a little bit to get that size off. And they're just going to let that drain on a corner. It just helps drain more. Can you see that? And you have really cool print. Come back. Then we'll try one of our folders that have been surface prep. How are we doing on time?
We are at 4:45.
Let's get a little bit of time. Let me did the other Gelget pattern. I think it looks like on those the other two ones are like a Gelget.
What does Gelget mean?
Gelget is, like I said, it's from the Turkish tradition. It's more like a zigzag pattern. So you're pulling your stick through back and forth, up and down. And you could also do that with one of our water marbling tools, like the rake. It's like a bunch of different spaced sticks that do it just quicker. So either way, works great. Clean that surface off.
Now, would you rinse and remove the size from a fabric project that you would do?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you would also rinse those.
Yeah, as long as it's been surface prepped. Mm-hmm. If you are doing something that hasn't been surface prepped, it might wash out. It'll be a lot lighter. It might not wash out completely because it is acrylic based paint, but yeah, it's going to be a lot lighter and not as vibrant. So that would be kind of disappointing if you did a really vibrant print and you didn't have that surface prep on there. It would take some of that paint away. So I'm just going to fill this up again with our base color. This is how I start. Now you could also put your colors on instead of doing your stones. I'm going to show you this way. You can alternate stripes of color, which I think is a fun way to get your Gelget pattern. Like I said, you could start with the stones and do it that way. But I also like to do it this way. It's just a different way. It's fun. I think it's fun. I just alternate. This is kind of the way I did. Let me show you. Right. With like the rainbow colors. So I did the lines down the center, and then I did the Gelget, which is pull one way, go back the other way, pull one way, go back the other way. And that's what I'm going to do with these three colors to show you those. You pop your bubbles. And again, you just build it up as much as you want. Depends on how vibrant you want it. Since these folders aren't white, I probably just make the color just a little bit more vibrant, just so it stands out more against that sort of yellow background. Now, obviously, you can do this technique with any color palette. This is just a pastel set. I mean, I kind of like just the stripes too. It's fun. Like if you get a pattern you like, you don't have to go any farther. You can just go ahead and pull a print. That's why it's so unique to everyone that does it. Well, I think I'll do purple and then I'll do my pattern. Okay, so then you just take, when you're doing a pattern, you just use the tip of the stick. You don't have to touch it to the bottom. You're just pulling the tip of the tool through the surface. So you go one way, another way. And again, if you don't have a lot of paint on your surface, when you're doing these techniques, your paint will move around more. The more you build up your paint, when you're doing a design, the more it will stay in place. So you can see I'm getting a really cool pattern. This is the Gilgit. Go ahead and finish this one so y'all can see that surface prep made a difference on that manila folder. Okay. And I have that. If it's not completely flat, you want to make sure all that touches. This one might be a little rough, not gonna lie. Oh, it's pretty good. You just let that size drip off. If you want to do a folder like this in a bigger tray all at once, like you could open it and do it that way, but you could do this type of folder like I did with the bag. Do one side and then do the other side. And then you can open it to dry it, if that makes sense. So there you go. There's that pattern. I think that's a beautiful pattern. Oh, and see, and if you have paint like this, you can go ahead and build up, you can add more paint. Instead of, you can just go ahead and build it up again if you like what's happening already.
So if you pulled one print, could you add another layer of paint
Yeah,
on
that's,
top of that?
yeah.
And just pull another one?
Yep, that's what I'm doing right now. So that's, see how there was paint left over? I can just add, now that first layer of paint that I added might start to dry a little bit, but again, it gives like sort of like a crackle look, which is kind of neat. And you can start to see it right here. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it's starting to dry just a little bit. So it gives like a crackle look. So you could leave it on there a little bit longer if you really like that look. And I don't know, it's kind of cool. So I'm going to show you another pattern, the nonpareil pattern. And it's basically the stones and then the Gilgit, and then you just pull through. I'm going to show you with our tool just because I have it out. So we have our stones, and then you can do the Gilgit, which is the back and forth. So the stones give you just a little bit different look than if you do the lines first. You just get some little marbled look in between those zigzags. And obviously I'm doing it pretty fast. Less movement in the water if you do it slower as well. Does anybody have any questions? I'd be happy to answer you at the little time we have left. I'll show you this tool. This is our home. So it's just closer together. And you're going to pull it in the opposite direction that you had your Gilgit. I have my paint bottles in the way, but you get the idea. And it gives you like these, this is might be like a more typical pattern that you've seen with water marbling, because it's more traditional look. So you get those little arches. And I'll do my other folder, that pattern. There we go. I mean, this paint works beautifully. I guess I've already said this, but on silk. And that's a lot of the traditional patterns that are made are on silk, you know, and wearables like that. But as you see, a lot of popular fashion has marbled look, marbled fabric. So you can get your own customizable patterns, display colors.
Now, if you water marbled shoes,
Yes.
are those, you know, if I walk out in the rain, are they gonna
Nope.
leave? Can I
You want
wash
to-
them?
Yes, you want to make sure you do the surface prep.
Yes, definitely surface prep them.
Yes, and then you're good to go. I really like that pattern. I can't pass it up. Again, the water marble paper is great. Just had to say that. Look at that. There's a lot of happy accidents with water marbling, I think. A lot of beautiful things that you can get. So I think that's all the things that we were going to show you today. If anybody has any, do we have any time left?
We have about 5 minutes.
If anybody has any questions or anything you want to see in the last 5 minutes, I'd be happy to do that for you guys. I appreciate you watching the video, and I hope you try it out because it is super fun to do, and it's great for the whole family. Honestly, I took it and did it with my whole family one time when we were visiting, and they all enjoyed it. So it's a great little activity to set up and just make a day of it. Are we have any questions?
Someone said that you were going to show us something else, maybe? Is there anything that we missed? Do you want to show them those projects that we have?
I could do the other color palette. Maybe that would, the one that comes in the kit. Can do a quick pattern with those. So red. These are really vibrant. Yellow.
We don't currently have metallic water marbling paints, but we have done some fun projects where we've added some of our extreme sheen metallic paint as an accent on top of the print.
Yeah, those.
Just
I mean,
painted it
there's.
on.
Yeah, I think those turned out really great. I liked it.
So one of the great things about our paint is also that it's all acrylic, water-based paints.
Yes.
They're not smelly.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about them getting on your hands.
Yes.
They're super easy to work with.
There's no smell at all. I
No
love
smell.
that. I like that. It's great to work with. And that's why I think it's great for the whole family, because you don't have to worry about, you know, people getting headaches or, you know, it hurting your skin. I mean, obviously it's acrylic paint, but it's water based. So that's great.
Now, when you do your shoes, what do you put inside the shoes to keep them
What
stiff?
I did was I just like wad up a piece of paper, like newsprint or newspaper like this, and just stuff it in. And then tape around the edges. And that basically is it. I mean, it works great. I've done like maybe like 3 pairs now, and every time, I mean, it works great. And just the regular painter's tape to mask off the rubber. That's it. I take out the laces and do them separately. If you want to leave them white, you can, but yeah. And then I can go back this way. I'll show you a flower real quick if you have time. So I'm just doing the gelget, and then I did it. So for a flower, you just do your concentric circles with whatever colors you want.
Oh, can you send your camera just a little bit?
Oh, sorry, guys. It's pretty fun. I've tried to play with and make solar systems. That's kind of fun if you have like a space nut that wants to decorate with space things. That is me for sure. So for a flower, like I said, you just build up those circles with whatever colors you want. Then you're gonna take your water marbling stick and you're gonna pull towards the center. I wipe it off every time. I don't think you need to. You just work across from each other. That way it keeps your flower more centered. And you can put as many pebbles or petals as you want, like that. And then for a center, you just take some paint and touch it to the center. And there you go. And I'll just pull that print. Show you how that looks. And you get that really cool look. See that? So like I said, there's just so many cool patterns and things and experiments you can do and have fun with it. There's no right or wrong. And I really hope you all try this out because it's super fun and we've really enjoyed making it for you all and playing with it. And we're still learning ourselves and we love it because it's just, like I said, every print is different and you can have a lot of fun. So thanks for joining us.